Hello and welcome to the Amazing Nerdiverse. I'm Jeff Grants.
I'm Steven Tukert.
This is the podcast where we talk all about donuts. We talk about, our favorite varieties of donuts.
Cronuts.
Yeah. Sprinkles, glazed.
The jelly-filled.
Chocolate. I don't like jelly-filled.
I'm
a weirdo with food anyway.
What do you call them? Croissants.
I think, would you consider them donuts?
Yeah, fancy bread.
It's all just fancy. This is a podcast where we talk about all kinds of fancy bread.
Hey, loaves.
Loaves.
Baguettes.
Yeah. Just all kinds of just yeast and
Yeast.
This podcast is all about yeast.
Yeast from the East.
The yeast from the East. That's my favorite wrestler. All right. Now, this podcast, we talk about all things good and geeky that make up the Amazing Nerdiverse. Movies, TV shows, video games, comic books.
And yeast.
Did I say comic books? Did I forget something? Oh, yeah, yeast. It's just I don't like that word, yeast.
Yeast.
We're off to a great start.
Hashtag yeast.
This is mostly going to be a...
Yeast.
We need to stop saying the word.
That's the new outro.
All right, so this week it's gonna mostly be like a news. We can talk about a lot of the news as always, but did want to touch on a couple of films and TV shows and stuff like that real quick. First up, Thor Ragnarok.
Uh-huh.
Thor Ragnarok. The review is up on the channel. I just wanted to you can check out the video review. It's just me solo because you hadn't seen it at that point.
Mm-hmm.
You have seen it since.
Yep, seen it tonight.
You saw it tonight because. You weren't able to get off work in time to go to the Justice League screening, so I ended up getting you a ticket for Thor, so
yep.
You could at least see that, so we can talk about it briefly. What did you think about Thor Ragnarok?
Hated it.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. I loved it. I thought it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Fun, like, people shitting on because it's fun, like, before even seeing it. Well, yeah, like, I think there's this whole like, it was always, like, everyone's shitting on DC, and now it's kind of gone the other way, where people are shitting on Marvel because it's fun.
Well, no, they pepper in, it's fun, and then they pepper in, like, real stuff.
Yeah, and I thought that stuff still worked. Yeah.
Yeah. Because there's stuff where, like, where they're in the field talking to Odin.
Yeah.
Like, that's real stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's a lot of that stuff in the movie, but there are jokes and stuff like throughout the whole movie, and it's up there as one of the funnier like Marvel movies and stuff, but I don't think that means that it's like what really was. I saw this one tweet or whatever that drove me crazy. It was someone that tweeted, look at the terrible reviews or whatever for Thor Ragnarok. And I looked at them and I read them, and it was just like people saying, like, oh, this was fun, there's a lot of humor and stuff like that, and then like it's like, oh, score B, or like 4 out of 5 and stuff like that, and then people were commenting on that. I was like, oh god, that's horrible, oh, horrendous, and all this stuff. I was like, are you reading the same reviews I am? They're saying they liked it. They're giving it a good score and all this stuff, but just people seeing what they want to see, hearing what they want to hear, and just because people said it was fun and humorous, that's why they said they were terrible reviews.
I like the Doctor Strange stuff.
Yeah.
That was fun. Yeah. Him just kind of zipping around.
I've been falling for 30 minutes.
That made me laugh really hard.
Well, at this point, the movie's been out for a couple weeks now, so I think we can...
I thought it was only been a week. Maybe it's 2 weeks.
Well, by the time this comes out, it'll be at least 2 weeks by the time this episode drops.
I've been falling for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
He doesn't need the hammer, really. Like after, like at first I was like, oh, who's he gonna be without the hammer?
Yeah.
And then I was like watching, and I didn't realize it until like a good bit into the movie. I was like, oh, he doesn't have his hammer. I don't really care.
Yeah,
fine.
It's been a couple weeks since I have wanted to go back and see it again, because I'm sure there's a lot of stuff I'll pick up on that I missed the first time around. But like, there's so much. The opening scene. I love stuff like that, where it just feels like a mini comic book adventure. Like it just this is one issue, and then this is like a whole 5 story. I don't need a whole backstory
on why he's right there right now.
Yeah, Good. Yeah,
I get it.
I don't need that for every movie, and like that's what the MCU has been doing really well. Like even in stuff like, which one was it? Was it Well, like if you look at Civil War, they have that whole the Avengers like fighting Crossbones right there at the beginning, or like Winter Soldier. There's like back. The Leaper. Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, there was a rumor. I don't think I have that on my notes, but there was a rumor that like he might be coming back because he was involved in some like celebrity auction that they're doing in Atlanta, which is where they're filming Infinity War and Avengers 4. And I think he might be. People are speculating that he might be involved in the movie because he's there with a lot of the other cast members, but doesn't necessarily mean anything. But I mean, what I really want more than anything is I'm going to do my idea where like Thanos brings back all these villains that were dead or like or whatever defeated and stuff, and have them all face off against like kind of greatest hits of villains.
That'd be fun.
Like Red Skull, and you can bring back Crossbones would be, because there's a lot. They have more Avengers than they have villains at this point. Like they can bring back like Ultron. They can bring back like Red Skull, Abomination, and you can kind of pair each one's off, like Hulk and Abomination. Cap and Red Skull. You could just maybe
Iron Man versus everyone basically because everything's his fault.
Yeah. So yeah, Thor. You can check out my review if you haven't already. Maybe sometime soon we'll just get into like a more like in-depth like spoiler discussion on the whole film, but it might be a little too soon at this point. Probably not, but
most people
don't have time for it right now.
Let's give another week or two.
Yeah.
Just to.
Justice League, same thing. I did my review with Chris Parsons. You can check that out. It's spoiler free, just like my Thor review.
Is it mustache free?
Yeah, but I guess I kind of hinted around that. But really, one of my biggest problems with the movie.
If you didn't already know he had a mustache, if you didn't already know all that they were going to CGI out the mustache.
I think I kind of didn't talk about it because if you don't know that Superman is in Justice League. He's in Justice League. And, like, everyone knows it. And, like, I don't know why I'm treating it like a spoiler. I don't know why everyone is treating it like a spoiler. Like, if you saw Batman vs. Superman, you know that he died, A. You also know at the end that they teased him coming back. Very subtly, but they did it. And they can't do a Justice League movie without Superman. He's been promoting the movie. He's been all over. He's been in some of the posters. Not all of them, but some of them. And, like... He's in the trailer, even in the most recent trailer. You don't see Superman, but you see Clark in there and stuff like that. So I don't know, but basically, if you know anything about the real world thing, I mean, honestly, Chris didn't know this. Parsons didn't know this, the whole mustache thing. So
he didn't
notice it.
Okay.
But for me, knowing that they had to digitally, I was looking for it, and I wish I wasn't, because it kind of took me out of the movie a little bit, and that's one of the big problems I had with it. But overall, really enjoyed it. You can check out the review for my full-on thoughts about breaking it down by character and all that stuff. But anyway, I did have some notes here. We'll probably get into those when we go into the movie folder. I kind of revisited all the DCEU films. There's thoughts. I like Man of Steel. Like I like it more the more I watch it. And I like it a lot. I still have a couple of problems with it, but they're kind of getting outweighed by other stuff. Ultimate Edition is definitely the way to go. I finally figured out what it was about Jared Leto's Joker that like it didn't seem like he was doing like a Mark Hamill Joker or any of that stuff, or even a Heath Ledger Joker. I finally figured out what he sounds like to me, or who he sounds like to me.
What?
Sounds kind of like he's doing a Jim Carrey impression. And
yeah,
like,
a little bit.
Yeah, I never thought about it until rewatching it, and I was like, that kind of sounds like that. Like just Jared Leto's voice doing whatever he's doing with it. Like it just kind of sounds like he's trying to do a Jim Carrey thing. I don't know. Yeah. Still not huge on the Joker in that movie. Anyway.
We'll see.
Yeah, that was just on my notes. Yeah, they can turn it around. I mean, they turned a lot of stuff around in Justice League, so we'll see. Let's jump into the news from the Nerdiverse. First up, this is big news. Lucasfilm has announced that Star Wars The Last Jedi director Rian Johnson is going to be developing a brand new trilogy of films set in the Star Wars universe, the first of which he's going to write and direct. It's going to be separate from the episodic Star Wars saga, the episodes 1 through 9 or whatever it's going to be at that point. And he's going to introduce new characters from a corner of the galaxy that Star Wars lore has never explored before. Now, I know how you are with stuff like the X-Men, where when it's not like Cyclops and Wolverine and all them, you don't give a shit.
Right.
Are you the same way with Star Wars, or do you want to see more of that universe outside of the characters we already know?
gonna be real tough.
Yeah.
What's the word?
Change. You're afraid of change.
That, but like the reason Rogue One was appealing to me was because it was a story that I already I had a footing in already.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, I remember like they talked about like them having to get the plans. This is that story. I get it. But if they're just like all new, all kind of crazy new stuff, I'm like, you got to really sell it to me.
Yeah. So you're opposite from a lot of people because I just hear the common complaint that like they're not expanding the world. They're kind of shrinking the universe where like everything is tied into everything else. And like Rogue One being the first spinoff, it's like, it's a spinoff, but it's like directly tied to the first Star Wars movie and like all these like spinoffs of like Han Solo and all that stuff. I mean, for me, like I just want a good movie no matter what it is, whether it's like, and like I don't know for sure what they mean by this, what this is gonna be. I mean, the options are like, you know, a corner of the galaxy that Star Wars lore had never explored before. What does that mean? Does that mean ever? Like in book? Does that mean like just in canon or just?
I think
ever?
that just they're just fluffing it up to say that they're gonna make something new.
Yeah, like, I mean, that can mean many different things. Is it something that's never been explored before in books, comics, video games, TV, movies, or is it just in the movies?
They're gonna make movies and use the Star Wars logo.
Yeah.
So they can sell it. That's honestly probably what it is. Because if they're like, oh, we're not going to use characters from... They're like, no, we're going to use a Star Wars logo so we can get people into it. And then we're going to try to make some of that money.
No, see, you don't embrace, like, opening up to the Star Wars universe beyond the movies that you've seen.
No.
Like, there's this is such a huge universe. Like, as big as, like, the Marvel and DC universe and stuff. There's potential for it to be that. But, you know, because it started as movies and stuff, the people that don't go into the books or comics or video games or other stuff don't know the huge... like the vast, like, you know, potential of this universe. Whereas like I think, you know, I welcome new and interesting and stuff like that, stuff we haven't seen before. Like it's not exactly stuff we've never seen before anywhere, but as far as a movie goes, we've never seen them go really delve into the old Republic, like the you know thousands of years before the stuff we've seen in the trilogy. I mean, dude, everything we've seen in the Star Wars universe has either been, like, just say from the starting point is Star Wars, it's either, you know, the 20 years prior to, or I guess 30 years prior to Star Wars, the original Star Wars, or about 30 years after. It's like the 60-year span that the entire universe, everything interesting that's ever happened has happened within those 60 years. Like, there's so much else to play around with.
Like what?
Like the Old Republic, like
The
like,
Old Republic.
Yeah,
this is boring.
Yeah, you're dumb.
What do they do? Just talk about?
No, that's when like shit
Republic?
Was really interesting.
Like what?
Like when there was like armies of Sith and everything, and like.
But there's always just two.
Not always.
They said there's always two.
Yeah.
So which is it then? Is there always two, or is there not always two?
There was two. There was always two when, until like before there was
always
a lot of
two
them.
For 60 years, and that's it.
No, before it was originally just it was like, you know, the Wild West. Everyone had a red lightsaber, and then Darth Bane kind of created the world of two.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Darth Bane?
Yeah. There will be only two. But yeah, like they have, like, there's so much they can do. There's also like wild space, like outside of the known universe.
What do you mean wild space? As if this space isn't wild enough?
No, like there's the there's the mapped out galaxy that they know of, the planets that they know, and all that stuff, and then there's what exists outside of that. That's called wild space. They don't know. It's uncharted territory.
Like in the real world?
Yeah.
Because technically all that stuff is wild space. If you think about it.
What?
All the stuff we don't know in the real world.
I think we know most of the shit that's on Earth at this point with satellites and all
space.
that stuff. Oh, yeah.
Super deep space.
Yeah.
Could be wild space.
Well, yeah. Wild space.
It could be a whole yeast planet.
Jesus, why do you keep bringing it back to yeast? All right.
Planet of the Yeast.
So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Rian Johnson is the one director that I don't think they've really had any problems with. I mean, well, JJ, they didn't really have any problems. Obviously, they're bringing him back to do episode 9. But like Rian Johnson, they had issues with Rogue One. They brought in another director to finish that one up. They fired Phil Lord and Miller. They fired them. Brought in Ron Howard. They cut Colin Trevorrow loose. Like Rian Johnson and you never hear a bad thing. They never make a big deal about it. Everyone's saying they love working with him, and now they're putting their money where their mouth is by announcing a new trilogy with him.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? He is. I read this in the article. This is interesting. I didn't put this together. He is the first director since George Lucas to write and direct the movie solo. Didn't have another co-writer, story by, any of that. So he's like the one filmmaker responsible for this film. Whereas, JJ wrote it with Lawrence Kasdan, and there was originally the Toy Story 3 guy wrote the early draft of the script or whatever.
Tom Hanks.
Yeah, sure. That guy. That's where I go. Toy Story 3. Oh, God, what's his name? He was in Toy Story 2. Yeah, that one too. Shit, what's his name?
Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah.
Ham.
East.
Clint Eastwood.
Oh, no. While we're on Star Wars, they're just making so much Star Wars, man. So Bob Iger of Disney, he announced that a live-action Star Wars TV series is in development. Finally, a live-action one. They've done some cartoons and stuff like that one, but there's been talk of doing a live-action Star Wars series for years. Its development's going to air on Disney's new streaming service in 2019. I don't know why you always bitch about this.
Because it's might as...
You don't pay for any of it anyway. I do, and then you use it.
But like everything, I don't use the Disney thing. I don't have Hulu. I don't have
it yet.
Amazon.
Yeah.
Why are they? I might as well just stick with regular TV then.
Yeah. Well, that's because you're an old man, and the world is moving on.
Why?
Just like.
Why is?
The world has moved on.
It's exhausting.
I don't
Why
have
do we need
cable
18
anymore.
different streaming services if I want to watch like 3 shows?
Yeah. I mean, it's annoying. Don't get me wrong, but I'm going to fucking chill out for it because I want to see Star Wars and Marvel and Star Trek and
Does that mean the Netflix
Titans
shows are going to be going over the Disney thing?
Well, originally I didn't think so, but see, here, what do I got here? So real quick, just touching on the Star Wars, it's going to be developed. It's going to air in 2019. That's when they're launching the new streaming service. Or I don't know if it's going to air in 2019, but that's when they're launching the service. They're also going to be doing some Marvel stuff and stuff like that. There are going to be no new Marvel Netflix shows going into development. So I don't know if that means
like is Punisher the last of it, or
possibly
Iron Man 2 or Iron Fist 2 would be the last of it.
Well, here's the thing. Like I think. I don't know for sure. I might have to do a little bit more research, but what I heard originally was that, the Netflix shows, Netflix co-finance them, all that stuff. They're going to stay on Netflix. Anything new is going to be going over to the Disney thing. Now I'm not so sure. I think they might be finishing out, because Jessica Jones is shooting, Luke Cage is shooting, Daredevil starts shooting like next week, and Iron Fist starts shooting like in December or something. Mm-hmm. Punisher comes out Friday. So after those, I think maybe that might be the time to cut it loose. Because all these shows are going to be airing in like 2018-ish anyway. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. By that point, maybe that might be just the end of all those shows, and like they'll move it over to there, or they'll keep them on Netflix. I'm not sure. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that means no new seasons or no new brand. Like Moon Knight can't be a new show on Netflix, which sucks because I want to see a Moon Knight show. But I don't know. I mean, I'm curious to see them do new stuff, and I like that they have a new outlet, but I don't want that to ruin because as far as Marvel TV stuff goes, that's where all the best stuff is happening in that world is on Netflix. And I know we got sidetracked. We were talking about Star Wars, and I am really excited to see a live-action Star Wars. There was one show they were developing for a while. I think it was called, is it 1313? It was like some kind of underground, the criminal underworld of the Star Wars universe of Coruscant, because in Coruscant they kind of, it's like, the city's like structured and layered and stuff, and the further down you go and stuff like that, there's different layers, and this is a particularly rough like level of the world, and it was where all the criminal underground stuff was going on.
In Croissant?
Yep. In Croissant. Back to yeast. Did you hear about this? Like, this is something that was coming up a lot, and now I'm not so sure about it, but there's talks about Disney had discussions to purchase the properties of 21st Century Fox.
I heard about that.
And they're rumored to be like, the rumor was that Fox was this was from CNBC. Fox was rumored to be like restructuring their company to focus more on news and like sports related stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they talked about, there were talks at one point, and then they kind of didn't move forward, but apparently CNBC's David Faber reported that the deal has not been completely abandoned, so it's still potentially on the table. They can come back to it at any point. And what it is because Disney's got this new streaming service, and they're looking to buy more content to have more content on it.
Everybody.
Yeah, so they would be buying Fox, and that would incorporate, like, that would be the big thing, is to buy their catalogs of stuff. But that would also, that includes stuff like X-Men and Fantastic Four, and like the Planet of the Apes movies, and Alien, and Kingsman, and all that stuff.
They would have more. There'd be more of like a bridge between Marvel using those characters, right?
Yeah, and like, dude, if they bought it, like, that's why I'm just like, do it now, do it every bit of, every day, do it all the time. As far as X-Men goes, like, as far as Fantastic Four goes, because give it back to him. Just give it back to him. I need Fantastic Four to be part of Phase 4 of the MCU.
I want Fantastic Four would be easier to incorporate rather than X-Men.
Yeah. At this point,
there's too many X-Men characters.
Yeah, but also you'd have to, like, and that's the thing, you'd have to scrap all the X-Men stuff that's existed.
That's fine.
Which I'm totally fine with doing for Fantastic Four.
Uh-huh.
There's some great X-Men stuff, but like, you would have to lose, like, Logan's kind of into the run for that, but there's still these new, like, they're doing.
Well, it'd be a good jumping off point for a new Wolverine and a new,
Yeah. Yeah, but that's not the end of the line altogether with the X-Men, because there's Deadpool.
Uh-huh.
There's like the future of the X-Force, and there's
Deadpool, though. Just the way his character is set up, he can comment on it, and do you know what I mean? But
then again, the other thing is Disney doesn't seem very likely to be doing the hard R stuff that that Fox is doing right now with their Logans and their Deadpools.
Are they allergic to money?
I don't know, like, but it's Disney, man. They're like the wholesome, family-friendly thing, and they're not gonna have.
I don't know.
Deadpool there's baby hand and stuff like that.
Well, no baby hands in some of those Marvel movies.
Yeah.
People getting stabbed left and right.
Yeah, but the language is like where they. I'm hearing that Punisher is like the most graphic thing they've done, so maybe that's they're getting closer as far as like in the Netflix TV world and stuff. But I don't know, man. I really want Fantastic Four. I'm still like, I've kind of grown, like, just because they're starting to do more interesting stuff with the X-Men movies. Like, I'm kind of giving it a pass, because like, a couple of years ago it was
all right, guys, let's wrap this up. The
Last Stand and Wolverine Origins and stuff like that, and it's gotten better since then. There's been for every Apocalypse and stuff like that, you've gotten like Days of Future Past and Logan and Deadpool and stuff like that. So, and First Class, but yeah. So like, I'm okay with X-Men kind of can keep on doing what they're doing for now, and even Gifted. I'm really liking Gifted. I've only watched the first 3 episodes still, but I'm really liking that. And Legion is awesome. So, Fantastic Four.
How messed up is it that on the CW Flash, Elongated Man looks better doing stretch stuff than
he did in that last movie?
Yeah, well, why? Why does it look better on a TV budget?
I don't know. Did you see that costume?
I haven't seen the episode yet, but I saw the costume. It looks pretty great.
The costume?
Well, they're starting. What
it's a joke.
Yeah,
it's a joke costume. Yeah, but I was like really excited because I saw headlines like, "Oh, Elongated Man gets a costume." I was like, "Yes!" And I looked at it, I was like, "Damn it!" The costume does look better than Fantastic Four, though. All right, so in May, The Rock told Fandango He says, we have a really cool surprise for Black Adam that I can't reveal in terms of where we will see Black Adam being introduced. So, you know, because he's not going to be in the Shazam movie, apparently. There's got to be something of him in there, but you never know. But basically 2 different insiders told The Wrap that the current plan for Suicide Squad 2 is for the members of the Suicide Squad to be tasked with tracking down a weapon of mass destruction. That weapon being Black Adam
Superman's
himself.
mustache.
Yeah, that weapon being Black Adam himself. So that's the potential plot line for, according to sources, that's a potential plot line for a Suicide Squad sequel, which doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be Black Adam fighting the Suicide Squad, because he could be like, you know, just asleep or whatever, and they're trying to
sleep
what
for 90 minutes.
What are you doing down there, buddy? Sorry, Scooby's under the table. He's just rubbing up against my leg. Scooby, get out. You know you're not even allowed to be in here. Just because you're under a table doesn't mean. It's like, oh man, he just slinks out. His tail between his legs. Okay, so I think that's an okay idea, but Suicide Squad 2 is where you're going to bring him in?
Yeah, Harley Quinn's going to fight Black Adam.
Look, man, they earned themselves so much goodwill with Wonder Woman, and now they're getting positive reviews of Justice League, and I loved it, but Justice League is not perfect, and their universe is not perfect, and don't make not perfect decisions right now, like Black Adam and Suicide Squad. And the truth of the matter is, Suicide Squad 2 needs The Rock. The Rock does not need Suicide Squad 2. Black Adam needs The Rock. The Rock doesn't need...
Who would Shazam fight in his Shazam movie?
I don't know. I mean, there were rumors a while back about the 7 Deadly Sins. That's a cool idea.
Have him fight Sinestro.
No, that's Green Lantern.
So?
Yeah, I guess that doesn't mean anything when you have Black Adam and Suicide Squad 2.
Yeah.
So look,
Black Adam's going to fight Killer Croc.
Here's the thing.
For 90 minutes.
If Suicide Squad 2 was coming out before Shazam, and that's how they wanted to do it, where the thing that the Suicide Squad is after the whole time is Black Adam, and he's like in a tomb or whatever, and they're trying to get him out, and like maybe he breaks free at the end, kind of thing, and gets away, and like whoops all their asses and stuff and leaves, because that would be awesome. Just seeing Deadshot and Harley Quinn and Killer Croc just getting smacked like a bitch from the Rock, and he just rock bottoms all of them through the fucking ground.
Yeah. And
yeah, that would be great. But I mean, Suicide Squad 2 is scheduled to start production in October of next year, whereas Shazam is starting earlier on in the year next year.
That's a while away.
Yeah. He's been attached to this film since 2008, though. Dwayne Johnson has been attached to play Black Adam.
For nearly 10 years?
For 10 years. By the time they start shooting next year, 10 years.
He's going to be dead.
No way. That guy is... If he's not healthy, I'm fucked. All right, so speaking of, Shazam has found its Billy Batson.
Is Black Adam's code, like his civilian name, going to be like Blake Adam? To like blend in. Yeah,
that's what they Blake Adams. It's just him with like just glasses, like the Superman thing.
Blake Adam.
I
like it.
So yeah, speaking of Shazam, they found their Billy Batson. THR was reporting that Disney Channel star Asher Angel is going to be playing Billy Batson. I don't know who the fuck he is. He's a Disney kid, just like all of them. All these little kids. If they're not in Stranger Things, I don't know who they are anymore. But, looks fine. I saw a picture. They released the Instagram thing of Zachary Levi holding up a picture of the kid. And then I saw like a picture of they met together at the Justice League premiere the other night. They took a picture together. It's cool. It's cute. Let them do it.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird, though, thinking about it. Like, they're never really going to share the screen together.
They might.
The instant, I guess they could find a way, but the instant he says Shazam, he becomes Shazam, and they kind of switch places. I just kind of find it funny like that. You think about these actors that are in the movie together, but then you're like, oh, they never really share any scenes together. Stuff like that.
Like
just like you never
Mark
see
Ruffalo and the Hulk.
Yeah, like you never see Clark Kent and Superman in the same place at the same time. We were both going for the same joke, but I couldn't get it out of my dumb mouth hole.
You never see Clark Kent and Bruce Wayne at the same time in the same place.
Yeah, you do.
Unless
all the time. So this is kind of a bummer, but I think it might be time, honestly. One of my favorite villains in the Arrowverse is Captain Cold. I think for a character as he is, they've done a lot with him. Between Flash and Legends of Tomorrow. And he's coming back, and they're going to be doing the whole like Crisis on Earth X. So they're going to be seeing an alternate universe version of him where he's a hero this time, which is like pretty much the only thing they've never really done with the straight up good guy version of him from another universe. He's been good on Legends or whatever, but basically Wentworth Miller has announced that he's leaving the Arrowverse. Like he's done, and like they kind of did a similar thing earlier this year with Malcolm Merlyn. You know, he just said he's going to be leaving the universe and stuff. And like, yeah, I mean, I get it. They've been doing it for years and stuff now. But it's always a bummer to me when they're like, yeah, I'm done. Like, whereas before they could have just always come back once a season or whatever for the thing. But them announcing they're leaving it just it's kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
They've done so much with the character of Captain Cold, but like, just like the idea that he could always come back. And he's just one of those villains that I love. Like, I mean, you know me. I never like seeing the villains die and, like, go away. Because, like, the thing I love about the comics is the villains can always come back and they can do more stories with them and do interesting things. And,
like, get a damage tattoo on their forehead?
Yeah. Like, real cool shit. Here's the character that I hope doesn't have damage tattooed on their forehead. TV Line is reporting that Supergirl has added Laurie Metcalf. She was Jackie from Roseanne, and she's Sheldon's mother on The Big Bang Theory. She's going to be playing Wynn's estranged mother. Wynn's mother in that show, Jackie. What is happening down there? What are you doing, dude? Go away! He's just kind of just digging his fucking arm under my foot or something. Just like, notice me! Oh, God. All right. So, yeah, Supergirl's going to be adding her. Also going to be adding an actor named Jesse Rath from Defiance. He's been cast as Brainiac 5 on Supergirl, which is another member of the Legion of Superheroes. They've already cast Saturn Girl earlier this year. This is not the first version of Brainiac we've seen in Supergirl. We never saw the original Brainiac, but we saw Indigo, who was played by Smallville's version of Supergirl, Laura Vandervoort. She played Indigo, which is basically Brainiac 8. And so Brainiac 5 is like
Brainiac 5 and Brainiac 8 look like Brainiac 11.
Yeah, right? So Brainiac 5 is like the great-great-grandson of Brainiac. Anyway, so that's cool. And like I like seeing more members of the Legion of Superheroes because we've been looking forward to that since they teased the ring and stuff like that. I want to see them do the full-on futuristic superheroes. And maybe Supergirl can go to the future and we can dive into a little bit of that stuff as well. Maybe even do some fun stuff with like a young Superman and do some like kind of things where, like, the Legion of Superman went back in time and was like had adventures with Superboy and stuff.
It was like, hey, what was your grandfather up to all those years ago that nobody cares about?
Which, speaking of, they just cast Brainiac in that one.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, Blake Ritson from Da Vinci's Demons, according to Deadline, is going to be playing Brainiac. The
Zorro
original.
And Doomsday going to show up there too?
Probably. It's just going to be like Gotham, where
is Lex going to walk around without anyone to?
Oh, I hope they have Space Fish Mooney. Yeah, I don't like. I'll watch it. I watch all this stuff.
I honestly might watch it if they literally called the character Space Fish Mooney. It is I, Space Fish Mooney.
Look, I'll watch Krypton because there is no way it can be worse than Inhumans. Because I finished Inhumans.
Yeah.
Season 1. I stuck with it, and I gotta say. My review has remained the same. It is the worst comic book show I have seen.
Yeah.
They did not stick the landing. If anything, they shit the bed. Even worse than they had in episode 1. Like, most shows start off like Daredevil. For the whole season, you're like looking like it's cool, it's good, and then you look forward to seeing him finally put on the red Daredevil suit. Iron Fist never did that, but the whole time you're like wondering, will he finally don the mask and all that stuff? This They started the first episode with that, and the only thing they did is immediately in the first episode take all of the cool things about the characters away, and they never gave it back to them. They found all these ways of saving money, and then they never did anything with it.
Uh-huh.
The only thing that they build up the whole season is you finally hear Black Bolt speak, and it's just really bad. Like,
what do you mean? Like the booming whatever?
Yeah. He destroys some building thing, and when he finally speaks, it's like that didn't sound. The sound effect wasn't really cool, and
yeah,
it just wasn't. It sucks. The whole show sucks.
Because like, what was her name? Medusa? Didn't they shave off her hair?
Episode 1. Yeah, you take. Oh,
isn't that like her only power?
Yeah.
Like I could see that like down the line, like, you know.
Oh yeah, I mean they did that in the Paul Jenkins run of Inhumans, and it has served a dramatic purpose, and it's when the characters are at their worst moments, and Maximus has come back, because like this isn't the first that in that version, it's not the first time that Maximus has betrayed them and stuff, and he's come back and he's kind of put them all back, and then you see all this stuff, but like the way it's played off in that, like seriously, the show just found every fucking corner they could cut, did it 20 seconds into the first episode, and they never went back. They never earned anything. At the end, it's just kind of, well, that was a thing, and now I hate my life. I will never get those 8 hours of my life back.
Yeah, what are you gonna do with them anyway?
Watching Inhuman season 2, which no, there will never be an Inhuman season 2. There's no way. I will eat my fucking computer if they do an Inhuman season 2. You can take that all the way to the bank.
What am I?
Yeah. Well, you're a person that is living a better life than me because you have not watched Inhumans.
Yeah, I guess.
You're better off than I am, man.
Yeah.
I don't feel good.
I'm feeling weird.
There's some new character posters and a banner and stuff from Marvel's Runaways.
Is that like their more teen audience?
That's the one. That's the one that's going to be on Hulu. They
Or
are
is it
teen
like geared
characters.
towards like the tween teen.
I hope not. It could be like it is a series that could be.
It's kind of what the poster looks like to me.
Yeah. Well, it's not on Freeform, which Freeform is the one that's doing Cloak and Dagger, and I feel like that's going to be very tweeny, like kind of centric.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, it's just not us.
Yeah, that's all.
But then again, Runaways the comic book is fantastic, and the good thing is it's getting pretty decent reviews. Critics have seen the first 4 episodes. Currently, let me just double check this real quick because I had it what it was at the time. We just get to up to date, even though by the time people hear this, it might be way out of date. But the Rotten Tomatoes score right now, it is sitting at 86% on Rotten Tomatoes. With 12 positive scores, 2 negative. It's pretty good so far. Might maybe get some more reviews, but I'm looking forward to it because, like I said, I love it's one of my favorite like Marvel things that have been done in the past like 20 years or whatever. Like aside from like the big story arcs that we all know, like your Civil Wars and World War Hulks and Planet Hulks and stuff like that. This is something where they did a new original thing within but it's within the Marvel universe and everything, and it just finds a great way of being something new but still existing within that world. And I really am interested about seeing that. Punisher's dropping on Netflix on November 17th, which is this Friday, which by the time you're hearing this will probably be already out. I'm really looking forward to that. Since I've already seen Justice League, my weekend's freed up. I mean, I got the Star Wars Battlefront 2. I got it pre-ordered, so I'm going to be getting it 3 days early. So by the time that comes out, my weekend will be free. Be able to just binge me some Punisher. It's getting mostly positive reviews.
What, Punisher?
Punisher.
Okay. But
it's not as cut and dry as just all positive. There's some criticism, and rightfully so, but it's saying, a lot of people, from what I've seen of some of the reviews, it's not really the best time to do a show that's so heavy on gun violence. But, I mean, like someone, I can't remember, it was one of the reviews I saw that said, I mean, the reason it got pushed back before, it was supposed to come out last month, and they got pushed back to this month. The reason it got pushed back, it could have just keep getting pushed back because it just keeps happening. Yeah. And it's unfortunate, but like, I mean, it's either that or never. It's either just drop it now or never release it. It's just
there's always got to be some asshole.
Yeah, and like it's just unfortunate, like. Because I don't tie, in my head, I don't think of the Punisher as, like, tying it to, like, the gun violence and stuff, even though that is a big part of the character and everything. He's not a random gunman just gunning people down and everything. He is very precise. I mean, he was a soldier. He is killing people that deserve it. He's killing the criminals and stuff like that. He's a lot more violent than any of the other superheroes and stuff. But I do think there's a lot there. I mean, I'm not saying he's a very flawed character, and that's why I like seeing that stuff. But like, it's just unfortunate that like in your mind these days you can't disconnect from those things. I
mean, I'll watch it, but I think to me, I mean, I haven't seen it yet, obviously, but like to me, the Punisher works best so far as like alongside like a Daredevil. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how well I'll like it, like, if it's just him.
Well, yeah, because you're seeing him butt heads with someone that has completely different ideals and everything.
That's interesting to me.
That's interesting, yeah. Just like the same, his first appearance was in Spider-Man, and it was a similar thing. And, like, I don't know that he's going to have those things. Like, I don't know. And but I'm hearing some people say it's the best Marvel show they've done. Like, the best Marvel Netflix show. So, I don't know. I mean, right now, at Rotten Tomatoes, it's sitting at 72%. 21 fresh, 8 rotten, and like, you know, I kind of feel like, but I mean, I feel like if their complaints and stuff are about like maybe the writing's not great or this or that's not great and stuff, that's fine. But if it's, and a lot of the criticism I've seen is just the time, the world we're in right now, the world we live in right now. Now it's not the best time, but that you can't really knock the show for that. Like it's just another Marvel, it's just another comic book based show. There's a lot of them out there, and like I don't think that necessarily. I mean, you might not want to watch it. You don't have to watch it.
No.
But like, I don't know. I just don't think you can really take away from the show for being what the character is.
His character to like me is like how I feel about like horror movies. It's like it's just not my thing, really. Like that type of thing. You know what I mean?
You're kind of a pussy.
Yeah, I like
I mean,
I like zero conflict.
Yeah.
I like no consequences.
Yeah.
I would honestly watch a whole movie where Spider-Man just hangs out at home, just eating cereal, watching TV.
Yeah, I know you would.
Like, just enjoying himself, minding his own damn business.
Yeah. And also, I like horror movies. Like, what's the difference between Punisher and John Wick?
Nothing.
Exactly.
Not really. Yeah, nothing really.
Yeah, you love John Wick.
Okay, I'll look at it. I'll try to look at it that way.
Yeah. I mean, because literally the thing that drew you to John Wick, that connected you, was because they killed his dog.
Yeah.
And they deserved to die.
Yeah.
Well, they killed his family in there, but you don't give a shit about people.
Well, I do, but
you've long established that you don't care about people.
I won't say I don't care about people. I just care. I like the dog more than most people.
Yeah. And you're like, duh, was his family wearing capes?
Kind of.
Yeah.
That's...
So, I mean, we've already established that you got fucked up. you got something wrong in there.
I had to, when we watched Power Rangers, I borrowed Power Rangers from you.
Yeah.
Because Carla hadn't seen it yet.
Yeah.
And we're getting to the end. And I remember when I watched it the first time, I got some tears in my eyes.
Yeah.
So I was like, she can't see me. I can't tear up at Power Rangers in front of her. I gotta just muscle it back. Like one of my little tricks is I'll start like drinking out of the cup. Like I'll start like I have my little cup of water.
Yeah.
And like it's easier for me if I'm like chugging like water.
Yeah.
So like when I know the moment's coming up, like
and you just like spill it all over your face. Like, oh no! It's like you always do that in like the sad moments of the movie.
Yeah. What about that?
Yeah, that's weird.
Moving on.
All right, so
Yeast.
One more Marvel TV show I want to talk about. There's a lot of Marvel TV show stuff coming on.
Marvel Yeast.
So we're gonna have Punisher this weekend, Runaways the next week, and then the first week of December, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. comes back for its 5th season. Where are you at on that? I know you were watching some of it.
I got a good bit into the first season. I'll get back into it.
Yeah. Finish season 1 and then we'll talk, because like season 1, that's when it really gets interesting.
Yeah.
At the end of season 1, and it kind of dips in and out here and there.
Yeah.
But then season, I think was last season. If this is season 5, last was 4. Season 3 had some interesting stuff. They had some Inhumans related stuff. Not the royal family, the shitty, like, it's terrible that they did better stuff with the Inhumans on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. than they did in the Inhumans TV show. But they did, and they brought some cool characters into that. They did Mockingbird, and they revealed that Skye is Quake, like Daisy Johnson from the comics, and then they did Ghost Rider at the beginning of season 4. So they do cool shit in the show, and they eventually get to it. But then they'll go and do something crazy like the Hydra thing where they're all basically in the Matrix and shit like that. But next season looks cool. They released a new promo that season 4 ended with Coulson in space, like in this like space station, and I think it's like in an asteroid. It might be like Asteroid M or something. It might be like something from the comics. But so it looks crazy. Space, Kree. I'm seeing a lot of the Kree aliens and stuff in there. It looks awesome. New characters. I think I'm looking forward to, like, based on the preview and stuff, I'm looking forward to this more than I've looked forward to anything else on the show except for Ghost Rider. Just, it looks cool. I'm excited. Deadpool 2 poster. You see that one?
Yeah.
The Thanksgiving thing?
Yeah, that's fun. But the only thing that I can never tell anymore, like, what's like a fan poster.
Yeah.
And what, like, at first I just thought it was like a fan poster.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's funny. But
yeah, it's the one they
okay.
released, yeah.
I don't know anymore.
Yeah, there was also some, what was it, Good Housekeeping or something like that? There was some magazine where it was like all Deadpool. Like, it's starting now. They're starting to kick the marketing campaign into gear. It's coming out next year. Next year, there's 3 X-Men movies coming out. New Mutants.
Oh, that's a movie? I thought that was a show.
No, there's you get a lot of things confused. There's so many new.
Gifted.
Gifted's great.
Is that a show?
Yeah.
That's a show.
It's a show on Fox.
All right.
You should watch it because it's great. Yeah, and then I think you've been getting New Mutants and New Warriors mixed up.
Okay.
New Mutants is Mutants. It's X-Men characters, and that's a movie.
Movie.
That's the movie with the girl from Game of Thrones, the girl from Split, the guy from Stranger Things. They're 5 mutants in a asylum hospital thing, and it's a horror movie in the X-Men universe.
Okay.
Demon Bear. And
sounds like you're making that up.
Nope.
All right.
Can't wait. The trailer looks awesome. And then New Warriors is the Squirrel Girl show. Squirrel Girl.
That's hard to say, though.
It's the Squirrel Girl. But it's fun to say. It's like Homestar Runner. My favorite show is the Squirrel Girl.
Whatever happened to Homestar Runner?
I don't know. They didn't, for a long time, they weren't updating, and then every now and then they'll do something
Makes
new.
me a little sad. I kind of miss that.
Yeah.
Because, like, there was, like, a good while, like, every day after school, I'd go home and just, like, watch a couple of cartoons and then be on with it.
Yeah.
I miss it. Dear Homestar, I was about to give on.
Yeah, those are my favorite. The Strong Bad emails. And I still, to this day, me and a guy from Buddy from Work, Johnny, we are constantly just quoting like all the different things in Teen Girl Squad. Mm-hmm. Those are also particular favorites of mine. Just like Arrowed and like just like Wave of Babies, like just the random things that would happen. Just like a wave of babies would come by. It's so dumb, but I quote that shit all the time. Black Panther character posters, you see those?
Yeah.
Look good.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that movie.
There was like a detail that I guess it's new, but like on his gloves, like the little claws that come out, like you could see more detail, like the little mechanism for it.
Yeah.
It just looks neat.
Yeah. All the characters in that one looks really cool. You got everybody. I don't have all the characters' name in front of me, but
there was
you have the Angela Bassett, the Forrest Whitaker, the Michael B. Jordan, the Andy Serkis, the Martin Freeman. There
was a toy that I saw where like it looked. At first, I was like, "Oh, they didn't do it right," because like the eyepieces are missing, and it's like you can see his eyes. Yeah. But like with the Black Panther mask, I was like, "Oh, it's weird looking. Why do they do that?" And then I would watch the trailer again. There's like a quick look where it's like the white of the eyes are out. Mm-hmm. So I was like, oh, they're doing that. So I was like, okay, that's in the movie. I hate when they do toys that aren't. Yeah. You know what I mean? Spider-Man doesn't need a motorcycle. Yeah. All that kind of Hulk doesn't need a bazooka.
Yeah. Yeah. Stupid stuff like that. They do that so much. That was always the thing. They did that a lot with Batman. Like they always just did like 1,000 different varieties of the Batman
I'm wondering
suit.
how they're going to tie Black Panther, like, because that's the last one before Infinity War.
Yeah.
So to me,
now that Thor and Justice League are out and that I've seen them, Black Panther is the next one for me. That's the next comic book movie that I haven't seen yet. So I have 3 months to wait for that.
Because, like, to me, that movie seems like a more personal thing, so I'm wondering if it's just not going to have anything to do with setting it up, or if they're going to, like, just drop little things. Do you know what I mean?
Well, you know what? We haven't got all of the, Infinity Stones. I think there's still one or two that we don't know. So maybe there'll be one in there. We don't know what the plot of it is yet.
Do you think...
But I don't know. I don't see it being as tied to them. You're right.
Do you think Ant-Man could just beat Thanos? If you really think about it. If he shrinks down to the size of, like...
An ant?
Jumps into his ear.
Yeah.
He just crawls into his brain cavity and then just...
turns into Giant Man?
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Right? I mean, that's done.
I hope that's how they do it. Just like it takes them, like, all the movie to figure that out.
That'd be real good.
Mm-hmm.
Just his open, bloody skull just collapses on the side. Like the lazy eye just kind of falls and looks into the camera.
Yeah.
Right?
That's how they should do it. Marvel, if you're listening, you still got about 6 months to fix that movie.
They should put, as a big fuck you to the Justice League, they should CGI mustaches onto everybody.
Except for Tony Stark. You're racist. All right. You love Power Rangers?
Holland gets one.
All right. I know you love Power Rangers. What do you think about this? The Power Rangers writers, Matt Sazama and Burke Sharpless, they are developing a Morbius the Living Vampire script for Sony. Morbius the Living Vampire. Do you give a fuck?
You know what? To be honest, I'm real excited about any solo Spider-Man villain spin-off. It just sounds like an interesting idea. Yeah, let's spin them all off. Let's do it. Let's explore all the characters and get into it,
Yeah. THR is reporting this. Morbius is an interesting character. The living vampire thing. He was in the animated series and he was in the comics and stuff like that. We've never seen a live-action version of him. Mm-hmm. He's a strange guy.
Let's investigate that.
Let's
unpack that.
He's one that I don't feel like necessarily has to be tied to Spider-Man as much as other ones. Mm-hmm. But then again, he's not in the first or fifth or seventh or 10th character on my list as far as I want to see him as the villain in a Spider-Man movie. There's so many other people, so you know what? Do something with him.
Yeah, let's do something with them all.
Yeah, and just get him out of the way.
Let's create a universe where other smaller, lesser known characters can just show up in all these other movies.
Yeah,
even if it's for just a small joke, just to connect them all.
Yeah,
make a connective tissue, and then maybe one day, let's just link all this up.
Yeah, do it. All right. Variety is reporting that Jurassic World writer Derek Connolly will write the Metal Gear Solid movie, which is based on the video game. It's going to be said to be directed by Jordan Vogue Roberts, who did Kong Skull Island, which Connolly also co-wrote. Connolly was also working with Colin Trevorrow on Episode 9, Star Wars, before they both parted ways with Lucasfilm. Do you ever play the Metal Gear Solid games?
A long time ago, I had I don't know how to explain this. It was like a sample disc of you play one level of a bunch of different games.
Yeah.
And that was on it. That's about it.
Yeah. See, I don't know. I think Metal Gear Solid could be an interesting movie, but then again, I think a lot of video games have potential to make really good movies, and not a lot of them have. Mm-hmm. None of them have, really. None of them make great video game movies.
Yeah.
Tomb Raider, I saw the trailer again tonight, and just I'm intrigued. There's a lot going on in the trailer that excites me for the because stuff from the video games and stuff, but I don't know. It's not gelling with me. I don't know if it's going to be good or not, but it could be. It has the potential to be, but I don't know. They're also doing a Mario game. That was just announced today. The Illumination, I think, is working on a Mario game. I think it's going to be an animated thing. That could be good. And I think Mario has to be animated. We saw what they did when they did live action.
No, they could.
Yeah, I mean they could.
Cast it right now. Give me who? Bryan Cranston, Mario.
All right.
See, there you go. What about Luigi? Pull him out of retirement. John Leguizamo. Let's do it.
Retirement? He's like, hey, fuck you, buddy. He was in John Wick. That's like the most relevant thing I've seen.
Keanu Reeves is Luigi.
Yes. I love
You're
that.
in now, aren't you?
I'm fucking way in.
And the two of them are like serious.
Yeah.
Like Luigi's doing all the John Wick shit, like shooting people.
Yeah.
But he's wearing overalls and like a green turtleneck.
Yeah. All right. Got two more stories here.
I want to see that movie real bad.
Yeah, actually, I do. Like Keanu Reeves as Luigi. I'll just watch a Luigi Mansion. Fuck Mario. Luigi's Mansion with Keanu Reeves. Like, whoa, there goes.
Wario.
Deadline. I'm really excited about this. I've been hearing about it for a while, and they finally landed. And it's official now. Deadline's reporting Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg are developing they did Preacher on AMC, based on Garth Ennis and Steve Dillon's comic book series, their Vertigo comic book series. Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg are now developing another series based on another Garth Ennis property, this time one he co-created with artist Derek Robertson. It's called The Boys. It's based on the Wildstorm and Dynamite comic book series. The Boys is fantastic. I love it. It's set in a world with superheroes. Not the Marvel or DC characters, original characters, but where the superheroes are just fucked up. They're all like pretty much evil, and like they're just always fighting and fucking, and like they don't care about humans and the little people and stuff like that. And it is a dark ass comic, and basically this group of people come together called the Boys that they make it their mission to defeat all these superheroes and stuff. It's a fantastic comic. I read every issue of it. It's great. It's like 75 issues. They're making a TV show. It got a series order. It's going to be 8 episodes on Amazon. I'm really excited about it. It's about a group of superpowered guys and gals who set out to take down all the world's corrupt superheroes. It's like incredibly brutal, violent. I love it. They're going to direct.
You're messed up.
Supernatural creator Eric Kripke will serve as a creator and showrunner. I'm sorry, I'm not a fucking fake-ass Boy Scout like you. I just like things. I don't judge everything and everybody all the time. I'm sorry. I'm fucked up for liking stuff that a lot of people like. Enough people read this comic to keep it published for 75 issues. They're making a TV show. It. Yeah.
It's good to get that off your chest.
Yeah, I'm fucked up for liking an entire genre of films like horror movies and stuff like that. I'm fucked up.
I'm glad you finally admitted it.
Yeah. You're the person that can't relate to people. You can't shed real tears unless someone's wearing a cape.
It doesn't
fuck you. People wear capes in The Boys, so you can suck it. I hope you cry your ass off in this show. Superheroes are going to be dying all over the place in this show, and you're going to love it.
I don't like that.
I know. Well, these are going to deserve it because they're fucked up people.
Well, then they're not superheroes.
Well, they are. They're
not.
Not
if they're the way you're describing them.
Yeah, no, they're not good superheroes. No, they're all
who
evil
are they
shits.
saving then?
Nobody. Like that's
then
the thing.
They're supervillains.
Yeah, exactly. Like they think they're superheroes. They pretend they're all high and mighty and superheroes. But if the Avengers were a bunch of pricks, they didn't give a fuck about anybody else and all that stuff. You know, like
Tony Stark.
Yeah. You know, if they were rich and
he gets a little high and mighty.
Yeah, like it's interesting. It's like power unchecked. Like it's the thing. Like and that's what I think is so interesting about the story. So there's that. The Boys. I'm really excited about that. That's happening. And then this is happening. This is the last thing of this time, and I know how you feel. I know you like to shit on things so much. This is fun for you. This is a present.
Are you setting me up for something?
Well, yeah, kind of. There's another Amazon show in the works right now.
Damn it. Is that it?
No, but apparently it was enough. No, Lord of the Rings. They are making a new Lord of the Rings TV show at Amazon. Yeah, I see your face.
A TV show?
Yep.
Based on what?
According to Variety, Amazon Studios, Warner Brothers Television, and the J.R.R. Tolkien estate are developing a new series. There's already a commitment to produce multiple seasons. Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos is a fan. He's a fantasy fan. He loves Lord of the Rings. So the question is, but why though? Why? Why do this? Like they're talking about like I think there's going to be stuff taking place before
Oh my god, if you say before the fucking first Hobbit thing.
Not before the first Hobbit, but before the Fellowship of the Ring. So I guess somewhere maybe in between the Hobbit and Fellowship of the Ring. It says,
like Rogue One.
A series of all new stories set before the events of the Fellowship of the Ring. I mean, why?
Money.
Like, look, Peter Jackson's original trilogy, the first Lord of the Rings trilogy, was, I think it's fucking perfect.
Yeah.
Like, you
Pretty great.
couldn't really improve much upon that. Yeah, maybe. I mean, yeah, they're based on books. You're gonna lose some stuff from books, from book to screen, but still, there's no way you do anything better than that.
No.
Than what they did with those movies.
And they do it all at once.
Did it all at once. They shot it all together. Released 3 movies a year apart each.
There had to be multiple editors, but can you imagine if there was only one and he's like, the first day he's like, oh god.
The first day he's like, oh my god, I've got to edit 3 fucking 4-hour movies. Imagine the assembly cut, like just all the scenes together without like trimming anything. Oh my god, that guy is like, dude, that's like fucked up. That's like like just think about it. If the extended cuts, like the edited versions of it, are like 4 hours long, the extended versions, like that's 12 hours right there, and then the assembly cuts of that. Holy shit, dude! That guy is like sitting there looking at all that footage and going, holy fuck.
Just a wall of empty Mountain Dew cans.
Like, what do I... They went through 3 people before they actually started making edits. Like, they were just people, I can't do this! It's too much!
I don't care who gets the ring!
Fuck J.R. Tolkien!
Someone made a cute joke that I liked about the Black Panther poster.
Yeah.
Where it's just Andy Serkis and Martin Freeman. Mm-hmm. That they were Lord of the Rings characters.
Yeah.
And there were only 2 white guys on there.
Yeah.
They were the Tolkien white guys.
Nice.
I was like, that's cute. I like that.
That is. I like that. But yeah, so I don't know. Lord of the Rings, the original trilogy was fantastic. The Hobbit?
It's fine. I haven't seen it yet.
You haven't seen the Hobbit trilogy?
No.
They're not as great.
No.
I thought they were just okay. I mean, they're not, look, they're not, I don't think they're bad movies, like just in the grand scheme of movies, but they don't come close to the Lord of the Rings, like the original trilogy. I love Martin Freeman, so I liked that in there. I liked the stuff with Smaug, like the dragon.
It sounds like you're saying it wrong.
Smaug. Like over exaggerating it, because that's how a lot of people say it. But yeah, I love Smaug. Dude, what if they do some stuff with Smaug in this show?
It sounds like you're doing a voice on South Park saying
Smaug. It does. Smaug.
That can't be how you say it. That can't be how it's pronounced.
That's how I hear it more often. Like when people like, I mean, I would just say smog.
That's how I. It can't be Smaug.
Smaug.
It can't be Smaug. It can't.
It's a podcast where we talk about all things Smaug.
All things Smaug and
all
yeast.
things yeast and Smaug. We've come full circle. All right, if you like this episode, please do us a favor and subscribe to The Amazing Nerdiverse on iTunes or your favorite podcatcher app and leave us a review. That's the most important thing you can do to help us out and help people find this show. If you're watching on YouTube, please like this video and subscribe to our channel and leave a comment below. Share the show with your friends on social media on Facebook.com/TheAmazingNerdiverse, on Instagram @AmazingNerdiverse, and on Twitter we are @Jeff_Grants.
I'm @Stephen Tukert.
And we are @NerdiversePod. And finally, go to TheAmazingNerdiverse.com for all that and very little more. And until next time, I'm Jeff Grants.
I'm Stephen Tukert.
Catch you right here next time in The Amazing Nerdiverse.
Hit 'em. Smoke.
I was about to say it.